Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I wanted to just discuss a few tasks which I personally think can be incredibly beneficial to do within your wardrobe, particularly in the month of January. Now, we all know January can be a bit of an odd month. On one hand, you've got this positive new year, fresh start, wipe the slate clean. If you had a crappy year the year before, you get to start fresh. Set yourself some resolutions if that's your thing and move forward in a positive manner. However, on the flip side, there's the negative side of January. It's a bit grim, the weather's not great, it's really dark, the days are really short, it's just a bit depressing. Some of us might be feeling not so positive about all the indulgence and the effect that that's had on our bodies from Christmas. It's an odd month all round. However, in today's video, I want to focus and go back to the positive side of things and use the month of January to do something really constructive and something that can set you up for the rest of the year. Not only that, it is a positive thing to do within your wardrobe that will have a positive reflection on your wardrobe and also yourself. Okay, so task number one is one of my favourite tasks to do, and I do this a few times a year, but January is my favourite time to do this, and it is to have a clear out. And we're not talking about a huge clear out, getting rid of like 50% of your wardrobe, just time to take, I don't know, a stock take, if you will, to check on your wardrobe, have a rummage through, see what you've got in there and see if there's anything in there. And this is my number one thing, which I think is super important, is to just eradicate anything from within your wardrobe that doesn't make you feel good. If you've got a pair of jeans, let's say that are 5 sizes too small for you and you haven't worn them in however many years, don't keep them there if they give you bad vibes. Some women like to have items of clothing, perhaps if you've had a baby and you want to fit back into them skinny jeans. And by skinny jeans, I mean the style of jeans, not you have to be skinny, just putting that out there. But if you have that pair of jeans and you want to get back to the post-baby body or post-Christmas body, whatever it is, whatever floats your boat and it makes you feel good or it gives you a target to aim for, by all means keep them. But if you are looking at an item within your wardrobe and it just doesn't make you feel good, it makes you feel awful about your body or whatever it may be, it's got to go. Now, once you've done your stock take and you've got your no pile, you've eradicated those items that just don't make you feel good at all, you can then donate or sell those items. Now, I'm a big fan of selling on items that you have got rid of out of your wardrobe because, and I know I bang on about this a lot, but because I think you can then invest that money back into your wardrobe. But if and only if there are items that you actually want to give value to your wardrobe. Perhaps there's something that's, you've got something, a favourite jumper, for example, that's absolutely falling apart and you just want to upgrade it or you want to replace it. Perhaps it's got holes in it that are beyond repair. Then that might be some money that could go towards getting yourself a replacement for that favourite item. Or perhaps during your stock take, you've done like a little check and you think, hang on a minute, I need a pair of black trousers or I want some black skinny jeans or whatever it may be. You can then use that money from your no pile to put towards those items to go back into your wardrobe. So essentially, it costs you nothing. Okay, task number 2, and this is following on from doing your clear out, and it is to reorganise. So a couple of weeks ago, I did my big reorganisation. Well, it wasn't really a reorganisation. I organised my wardrobe because it's the first time I've ever moved in because we only built it at the start of January. But I came in, organised all my stuff, and then going forward from here, every season I will then, or every 2 seasons, spring, summer and autumn, winter, I will come in, reorganise and I'll do my wardrobe changeover. However, this is something that I used to do even in our previous home, in my previous wardrobe. In January, I would have a complete reorganisation day where I would just go, and maybe it might even be something like rearranging the layout ever so slightly. It's just something to give your wardrobe a refresh, because sometimes I think we can get in the habit of looking into our wardrobe, and if it has stayed the same for like the last 2-3 years, you can get into that mindset of feeling a little bit bored with what you've got in your wardrobe. And that is then when you get a bit kind of, oh, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this. And you don't actually need those items, but you just feel bored of your wardrobe. So you just go out and blindly buy. And that's, I think, one of the things which I think we can all agree we want to avoid. So A, to just give it a refresh to avoid feeling bored, and B, because organisation is awesome. I love being organised. It just, when I come in here, it makes me feel zen, it makes me feel happy, it makes me feel positive. I cannot think of a bad thing to say about being organised. Task number 3 is to repair and clean. Now, I think this is quite an easy one. That said, I think it's so easy that it's one of those tasks a lot of us are guilty of putting off and putting off and putting off. It could be something like a button that's fallen off a coat. It could be a seam or a hem that's come undone. It could be a hole in a coat pocket and you have got change jingling around in the bottom of your coat lining because of that coat pocket hole. It could be anything as minuscule as that. Then again, it could be something a bit bigger, like a big stain on a coat or a pair of trousers or something perhaps that needs to be dry cleaned. And I think some of these things are the sort of things that we think, oh, that will literally take me a couple of minutes, I'll do that later. And that was 5 years ago. So yeah, now is the time. You've taken stock of your wardrobe, you've reorganised it. So during that time, you've probably come across those items which are missing a button, which the seam has come undone. Pick them out and set yourself a little amount of time where you can go and you can repair those items, because you're not going to wear them. And I bet you haven't worn it in 5 years if you keep thinking, oh, I need to repair that. Task number 4. Now, this task I think is going to vary in timescale for different people depending on the amount of knitwear that you have. Task number 4 is a knitwear debobbling session. For me, this is a knitwear debobbling mega session. This would probably take me a week solid because I have so much knitwear. Now, with knitwear, I usually keep on top of my debobbling. So I would normally, if I notice like some bubbles appearing on a jumper, then I'll give it a debobble when I take it off in an evening, or perhaps if I'm not in a rush before I get dressed, if I notice some bubbles, I'll give it a little whiz over with my debobbler. However, since we moved, I have got a little bit partly complacent and partly we've just not had enough time and I've not really spent a great deal of time with my wardrobe, and so I've fallen a bit behind on the bobbling scenario. So I even need to set myself a little bit of time. And actually, debobbling, it's one of those things that you can do in an evening when you're having your downtime. Perhaps you're binging on a Netflix show, whatever it may be, you can be there with your debobbler and your cashmere comb. So it's really, really easy. You just lay your item out flat, or you can do it sat on your lap. It doesn't have to be flat, but I personally think if you're going to use a cashmere comb, you should lay the item out flat, and then you just brush away. If you've got something like an alpaca, so a cashmere comb doesn't specifically just have to be for cashmere, but if you've got something like an alpaca jumper, I have a dark grey alpaca hoodie, which is very fluffy and the bubbles on that are very large, so my debobbler won't often pick those up because there's only small holes in the grate of the debobbler. So first I have to use my cashmere comb and I'll just swipe it over really, really gently, not pulling on the fabric, just give it a swipe over all those bobbly areas. And also, don't be daunted by the fact that it doesn't have to be the entire knit that you have to debobble. It's usually just certain areas, normally under the arms where you've got friction and therefore the fibres are rubbing together and creating those bubbles. Then once I've used my cashmere comb, that's when I'll use my debobbler, or I might just use my debobbler on slightly more delicate fabrics like 100% cashmere jumpers. Those tend to form quite fine bubbles, so I'll usually just use my debobbler on that. Moving on to task number 5, And this one is actually a new one for me, which I've only done for the first time this year, and it's to fold all of your folded items vertically and not horizontally. Now, lots of you, since I did my moving into my wardrobe and organising my wardrobe video a couple of weeks ago, so many of you have sent me photos of your befores and afters, and it's funny because I never asked for them. I like it though, by the way. I'm very, very, very interested in your befores and afters, so please keep sending them. But lots of you have sent me pictures of how you've changed your folding or how you've organised your wardrobe, and lots of you have also been trying the vertical folding method. Now, I cannot take credit for the vertical folding method. This is not something I have come up with. This is the brainchild of Marie Kondo, or at least I think. I'm sure probably someone vertically folded before she did, but she's the one that has made it big, and she's the one who I feel is responsible for me now moving to vertical folding. Now, the idea behind vertical folding is that it frees up space, it makes a lot more room, and also it makes it so much easier for you to see what you have. And it really does make such a big difference when you open up a drawer and you can see exactly what you've got. Nothing is hidden underneath. So with jeans, for example, be sort of rooting underneath, or t-shirts maybe, sorting through trying to find what's on the bottom of the pile, and let's face it, you never end up using what's on the bottom of the pile. Whereas when everything is face up, it's almost like a filing cabinet. You can just see everything, you can assess what you have right in front of you and pick, because you can see everything so much clearer. Give it a go, I promise you will love it. Right, and there we go guys. Those are 5 tasks. That's your homework for the next couple of weeks until we run out of time in January. Those are the 5 tasks that I think would be beneficial for you to be cracking on with. Do keep sending me any of your organisation photos, and if anyone else is also doing a packs wardrobe hack, lots of you have been sending me pictures on your progress doing those as well. Love it. I live for organisation. It's like my porn. So yeah, keep on coming. Thank you for always as watching, and I will see you next time.